Welcome back to the second episode of what we're doing, Council of the Neon Lords, with a Z.
Gotta have the Z.
Yeah, man. Definitely deviates from the usual episode style. This sort of evolved into its own thing, and I'm liking it. I'm loving it, in fact. And we got a whole bunch more packed in for you today. So, let's ease into it, as they say. So, what's new with you, man?
Nothing much. Just getting the Kickstarter up and ready. I got a couple videos done, ready to put them on the site. Getting down to the wire here with launch coming up like 14 days.
Yeah, I did catch the original video you have on YouTube there. I'll link that in the video description.
Nice. Yeah, I made a couple like videos for when we actually like launch that say we're live and stuff. I did that today.
Not gonna lie, it looked pretty sick, man. I'm excited for it. That alternate cover art.
Yeah, that alternate cover art's pretty sick. And then the foiling, or like all the green on it's gonna be foiled out, tricked out.
Oh, so this is gonna be a physical book.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, hardcover.
Right. I do recall a little bit of that talk floating around.
Yep, so you will have your choice of PDF, of course, regular standard cover or Kickstarter exclusive cover, or both if you want.
Nice. Very nice. Well, I'm excited. I'm definitely going to be hopping in on this Kickstarter train.
Excellent.
And I hope all 6, 7 of my audience members do as well.
Hell yeah.
Alright. So, today on the show, I think our main goal is to delve into the topics of the game, the various chapters and ideas behind them, and just kind of like dig through it, dig into it, and expand on them. So today, I want to talk a little bit about character creation and what it means to run a character here in Neotrax.
Perfect.
Sorry, Neoterra XX.
Yeah, either way.
Depending on what dialect you go with, I guess.
Yeah, what part of the world you're from. I like it. I don't mind Neoterrax. It sounds pretty cool. Kind of sounds like a transformer or something.
It does, yeah.
So I mean, I could definitely roll with that. But yeah, I got the PDF up, so I'm not gonna mess this up. I'm gonna have the answers right in front of me. So.
Yeah, I was digging through it, and I gotta say, every single section has something really interesting that I like. There's a lot of like subtle interplay in between the various ideas that it comes across like there's more connectivity than like a standard RPG game. There's a lot more weird little connections that can be made.
Interesting. Oh, I wonder if that that was probably purely like unintentional too. I think it's just maybe the fact that like I wrote it all by myself. Maybe it's like one solid solitary voice rather than like, I mean, you look at like D&D, they probably have like 15 writers on the book.
Yeah, that's a good point. I remember 3.5, they had like basically an entire school worth of authors.
Yeah, so maybe it's like that, maybe not. Maybe it's just the way I write. I don't know. I don't know, I'll take it.
One thing that, like, to kind of expand on this, like, you know how with the core stats, right? If you max out one of your core stats, like strength, for example, it adds to your personality stat or your attitude. Like,
yeah,
that's
it does.
Just hilarious.
Yeah, so yeah, burliness of an 18 gets you additional +2 to your attitude because sick muscles get you far in life.
Very true. Very wise. And very funny.
Yeah, so each like ability score, if you get an 18, you get a bonus each one. So like, yeah, like burliness gets you +2 to attitude, Prowess gets you an additional 20% bonus to your chance of sneaking around unnoticed. Endurance 22, you ignore death saves from poison, so you got that like steam or like iron
gut
stomach. Yeah, iron gut. Attitude 18 of attitude, you gain a meat shield follower at the beginning of the game. And at the end of any long rest conducted within a humanoid sector, you gain one. If I should probably rewrite that, but yeah. Like, if he's dead, obviously, like, you get another one, but, like, you don't just keep getting them. Brains, you get, learns an additional language.
And I see a lot of really interesting gameplay ideas arising from the little stuff like this, especially that free follower every now and then. Could you imagine some sort of dark cultist who just gets a free, you know, meat bag to sacrifice every other day? Imagine the weird shit he's gonna get up to.
Well, yeah, that'd be interesting. But the biggest thing, like through all the playtesting, I've never seen an 18 in any score. Which obviously it's very doable, but I've yet to see one, unfortunately. But I want to say there's more to them. I think. Let me pull up my actual like InDesign for it, because like I'm pretty sure there's more to them in the real book.
Oh, I guess I am working with a slightly outdated set of rules, aren't I?
No, that's what everybody has. I'm just going off of like what I'm currently writing for the actual book.
Gotcha.
So it's stuff that only I know about.
Okay.
So
bless us with some of this forbidden knowledge.
Yeah, so burliness adds, you still get attitude because the sick muscles made it in. Prowess adds 20%. Yep, endurance 18, ability to ignore death saves from poisons. Wow, maybe I didn't. 18 additional language. Oh, and then you so you get a 1d6 added to your spell pool. You get an additional d6 to your spell pool on top of the language. I knew there was one that was definitely different because like I was like, wow, you get an extra language, like who cares?
Yeah.
You know? Like no one cares. Like especially like languages, like it's dumb. But yeah, so I added that. And then attitude, you get the meat shield. Yeah. So yeah, that was the one.
Okay.
Damn, wasted all that time. Wasted all that time for one.
Well, I mean, it's a forbidden knowledge drop, so it's worth it in my book.
I appreciate that.
So I, as some of my audience may or may not know, I am writing a module for this game. It's not going to be released necessarily at the same time as the big core rulebook, but it's just a little fun adventure to tack onto the side that might come out fairly soon. And in doing so, I've been kind of reading the rules and expanding on them in my own way. And in fact, the hairstyle section for character creation. I went ahead and I added 3.5 pages of new hairstyles.
Okay, I like it. Yeah.
And to the uninitiated listener, what does a hairstyle have anything to do in a tabletop RPG? Well, glad you asked, listener.
Jesus.
Care to take it away, my friend?
Okay, so looking good will get you far in the style over substance world of Neon Lords. So you pick the right look to complement your preferred method of taking out them muties. So essentially, like a mullet is geared toward, well, anybody really, because it gives you additional +1 to attitude. If you name the mullet and talk about it, you get an additional +1 to your attitude. And then like another one, for instance, would be like the death metal. It's just long and shaggy. That's more towards like the war wizard of the bunch. But then like mohawks can generally death bringers, because you get when you don't wear helmet or headgear, you get additional +1 to hit. Coolness comes at a price, however, and the enemy roll of 19 or 20 becomes a crit. So like there's a give or take to some of them. Some of them are just straight bonuses. And the then the ice is ninja approved, and you gain an additional +3 to your sleaze. So realistically, like, it could go either way on that, because sleaze that's a whole like topic onto itself. The sleaze.
Yeah. So, all right, hang on. I kind of want to just touch on what I really like about the hairstyles, but then I want to go into sleaze next.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No, I want to hear your hair. I want to hear some of these hairstyles. If you got, what'd you say, 3 pages worth,
yeah.
2.5?
So,
gee, I love it.
So I really like the idea of how you wrote for mullet, right? +1 attitude, but when you name it and talk about it, you gain an additional point in your attitude attribute.
Yep.
So I think that adds a lot of character moments in the game.
It does. It does,
and
yeah.
it does confer a little bit of a bonus that it's just going to get people really invested in their characters. So I kind of took that as a baseline, and basically I made something that statistically is equivalent to a mullet, but for each of the core stats. You know, burliness, endurance, etc. Let's see, what... Again, I got 3 pages of this shit, so... Alright, so like the 5 o'clock shadow, right? Gruff, tough,
Ooh.
Can take a punch, and has eaten at least 1 tequila worm. +1 endurance, +1 additional endurance when you talk mad shit and act tough. Like get punched in the nuts and say, "Ugh, my ex-wife hits harder than that."
It's kind of like Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, right?
Like the man with no name.
But I mess around with other ideas, you know, the whole give and take that you mentioned in the Mohawk, right? For something like the 2 o'clock shadow.
Okay, I'm liking it.
So the description reads, "Man, this thing really itches. Super distracting. You have difficulty concentrating on spells and other things that require concentration to the tune of 2 points. But the flip side, it's easier to get snapped out of a charm or sleep spell by the tune of 2 points."
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah, that is cool.
So again, 3 pages of just this weird stuff. Some of it's fairly benign as far as this game goes.
Yeah, but that's the good stuff, though.
Well, yeah, but there's some really crazy shit that pending approval. I'm gonna say pending approval on all this. One that I really like is the pube beard. It looks like crap, but it'll grow in later. Don't be self-conscious about it. +10 to XP growth.
Ooh, okay.
Right? Like, it doesn't give you any
I like that.
bonuses at the start, but you learn better because you're young. You're just growing into it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome.
I'm glad you like it. I'm gonna keep a lot of these for later. I'll send them to you and get your opinion on these one at a time.
Oh, okay. Slow rolling. I like it.
Yeah. So let's delve a little bit into why did you decide to make this one of it's definitely a signature concept of this game.
Oh, sleaze?
Yeah.
Or hairstyles?
Let's do sleaze. Let's move on to sleaze.
Alright, so...
I love the sleaze mechanic.
Yeah, me too. So, it really came down to, like, in the first episode we talked about top-down design, right? So, like, I came up with the idea of sleaze. Like, it's like one of those words. Like, it's like a trigger word that I really liked. A lot of them are just, like, just fun words. So it's like, alright, well, what am I going to do for sleaze? And then, like, I kind of thought about, like, what do they call them in 5e? When the paladin, like Oathbreakers.
Right. Yeah,
so,
I kind of caught that little snuck into the sleaze paragraph. Yeah. Oh, by the way, listeners, just to elaborate further, sleaze is... It's not exactly one of the core stats of the game. It kind of has its own unique pedestal that it stands upon. If the core stats are burliness, endurance, attitude, and the like. You know, your strength, your toughness, your agility, etc. Sleaze, it kind of sits along how you get along with all the NPCs in the realm, in the various realms.
Yeah, kind of.
So it's very important.
It's weird. It is, but the lower the sleaze, the better.
Yeah, you don't want to be a sleazy individual.
No, so here, you'll get a kick out of this. So I have a sleaze meter in the actual book. So the sleaze table is a score of 3 on the sleaze table. You're an altar boy, right? Like the Slimerama scale, you're considered an altar boy. 4 to 5, you're a schoolboy. 6 to 8, goody two shoes. 9 to 12, you're normal. Then 13 to 15, you got slime ball. 16 to 17, super sleaze.
Wait. 18, you're a preacher.
No, you're Slime Lord of the Wasteland.
I just figured because 3 is altar boy, 18 should be...
Oh, like a priest? Yeah.
Maybe I'm going to cut that. Alright.
Well, you said that last time we talked about human-occupied landfill.
Yeah.
Game there. I don't think you cut it. I don't remember. I listened to it. I don't remember. Anyway,
I kind of cut it in half, like, so that the conversation still was, like, followable, but, like, that particular joke was cut. So. Okay. Gotcha,
yeah. Alright, but yeah, so, basically, it measures your overall likability, credibility. The sleaze modifier is added to any rolls in situations where sleaze would be a factor. See, this kind of plays a lot into the GM, DM, Neon Lord, like calling for sleaze rolls more than actual like mechanics. It's kind of like a on the play, like it's kind of like an audible, you know, like it's a on the play, like because it's like when a sleaze roll would be called? Well, generally it's deemed necessary and logical by the Neon Lord. See, that's the big thing. We put a lot of emphasis in the GM to be making decisions, not just reading out of a book. So,
which I think is good, you know, like this is a party game, you know?
Right. Yeah. So generally it's like, I mean, obviously like me being a DM by trade when it comes to like my games, like obviously like I lean heavy towards the DM side of things. But difference between attitude and sleaze, the dudes with a high attitude and low sleaze are well liked and trusted within the humanoid sectors, but treated with suspicion and distrust in the wastelands and free cities. In these lawless societies, the slime ball factor doesn't exist, and dudes with high sleaze get along just fine. Beyond the sectors, in the wilderness of the wasteland, sleaze is king, but within the walled cities of the sectors, being a scuzz bucket doesn't get you very far.
It's such a weird mechanic. Like, it's good low and it's good high. It just depends on how you're exploiting it.
Yeah, it depends on where you are, who you are, and who you're dealing with.
Yeah, it's a wonderful thing. I'm really glad this is part of the game. Have you any experiences with playtesters really using the sleaze mechanic to its fullest extent?
The only thing we had was a Holy Smiter losing his faith because his sleaze went up. But honestly, I don't remember like how it happened.
Yeah, that makes sense. You know, the paladin becomes like the sleaziest, grossest individual, and then his god forsakes him. That's hilarious.
Yeah, so it's in there. So what happens is it's pretty actually. I think it's cool. Like a lot of people, this is a weird one because I get a lot of flack for the Fallen Smiter, because the Fallen Smiter, once the Holy Smiter's sleaze gets to a certain level, he's not a Holy Smiter anymore. Like, that's just it. It's over for him. But, 12 or more points of sleaze, they lose their favor, then they become a Fallen Smiter. So a Fallen Smiter is essentially a dude with a handgun and addiction to something. Like 1D, obviously it's like Trash Water, Smash, Death Sticks, Black Nightmare, Vitality Sticks, or crack. They're addicted to.
Okay, I wanted to also later add a few extra drugs to the wasteland here, but I'm glad crack's still around. Thank God for that one.
Yeah, But it's spelled C-R-A-K. I might even change that to K-R-A-K.
I would definitely change it to the K-R-A-K. That's...
I like that. It's getting changed right now on that section.
So, Han, so the fallen paladin, right? The fallen holy smiter. I think that's a great character moment. You know, like
I think so too.
It creates an interesting dude, to say the fucking least, and that's what we come here for.
Yeah, exactly. Like he literally has so like the preferred weapon of like the Legion is like the order of the Holy Smiters or whatever, and so he hates them so much for leaving them that he just picks up a pistol, and then he's got like an addiction to a drug to cope with the loss. You know, like that's it. Yeah, he's just some 5 o'clock shadow wearing fucking a-hole with a chip on his shoulder. Like that's dope. I thought it was dope, but like I think it's more the fact that like that's it. Like that there's nothing to it. Like, but there doesn't need to be. Like I think it's just as good as it gets.
Yeah, and a lot of people characters like that. It's like maybe they become abandoned, and maybe they become NPCs in the Wasteland, eventually turning into villains if they're not dealt with. You know.
Exactly.
Maybe they go on a big redemption quest as the player and get their powers back once more, plus some. You know, there's
yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then a big flack was the fact that when you roll, if you're rolling up a fallen smiter and you get to sleaze and you roll 12 or higher, you're automatically a fallen smiter. It's like, well, I mean,
that's fair, right? Like, so you just start the game like that, and then you unlock your powers a few rounds in.
Or you can. This is another rule in the beginning that you can sacrifice him to the Chaos Gods. You can rip up the sheet, burn it up, and then when you re-roll, you get an additional 1d4 to any ability score of your choice.
Plus that much in additional sleaze for your new character.
Yeah, that is true. So that is true.
So he is kind of born cursed in a sense, and that's also a very interesting way to take it. I mean, like that kind of does mitigate, not mitigate, but almost brand any players who are prone to tearing up non-minimaxed characters. You know, be like, oh, this isn't perfect for metagaming, so I'm just gonna go and destroy it. It's like, well, you can. And in fact, here's a reward, but you're not branded.
There's a downside.
You have additional sleaze for your new character.
Yeah, that's a big thing I like to do. Like, if you could probably see in a lot of them, is like there's like what's the word? It's like you get rewarded, but there's always a price for that.
And I appreciate that, you know, like it's a good way to keep things balanced. It's a good way to give out cool bonuses and create characters who are kind of bent around exploiting a positive and avoiding a negative in their own stat block.
Yeah. And
it helps players think, I think.
I think so too.
So
I definitely think that is definitely part of it. But I don't know. That's my 2 cents, I guess. But I mean,
that's why I have you on the show.
That's what I was about to say. That's literally what we're here for. But oh shit, yeah. So much good stuff I forgot about. Just looking over the rules. So yeah, so then sleaze kind of like goes hand in hand, like we were saying, with attitude. But like having a low attitude really doesn't. It's just like a normal, the normal, 5. Oh, the big thing too is brains. There's no split between intelligence and wisdom,
which is an interesting direction to take things, for sure.
Yeah. Well, because like War Wizards cast with brains, Holy Smiters cast with attitude, and the Starspawn casts with brains too. Yeah. Holy Smiter is the only one that doesn't cast with brains.
Interesting.
With his attitude.
Which
makes sense.
Not to, again, plug my own thing too much, but I also created a few custom classes. And
okay,
tell me if this fits the theme. Feel free to give this a pass or a fail, depending on how canon you think it is. So in the same vein as the Holy Smiter, right, I have something called the Blood Pit Acolyte. So
I like it.
Think a cultist based around the WWE wrestler Boogeyman, or maybe Sting. I haven't quite figured it out.
Okay.
And they're like a religious holy class that casts spells from a holy source to boost themselves into a frontline fighter. So casting class focused on self buffs to make them a better combat killer. But then afterwards they suffer like serious exhaustion.
Yeah, that's cool.
Glass cannon, that sort of thing.
I'm all about the glass cannon. Yeah. That's dope. And then you just gotta. So what's their? What is their class-based ability score called?
You know, I don't know yet. I haven't quite fleshed that out. I want to spend a little bit of time on that. Honestly, I spent way too long on all the pages of different hairstyles. Like, I had way too much fun with that. That was awesome.
No, that's dope. That is dope. Because I mean, I think I only ended up with. Let me look and see how many I got. I only ended up with, I think, 10 went into the main book. Where are they in the main book? Hairstyles. Yeah. Damn, I thought I had this all figured out. Here I am searching. No, that's not even listed. But yeah, there's 10 or 12 we ended up with.
So I wrote a bunch, and I basically have charts that you could roll on. If like it's just way too much to read, you could just roll a couple d6 and then you just choose whatever you land on.
Yeah, that's dope.
Okay.
Wait, what'd you say? You said 2d6?
I gotta shorten the list a little bit. Maybe take one or two out. I want to get your approval on them before I start putting them into charts. I wanted to make charts that are possibly preferred for close combat classes and charts preferred for casters. And then an other chart for just the weird ones. You know the ones.
Yep. Yeah, I got 12. 12 made it. I mean, if you want to flex some to the main book, I'd be all about it.
Yeah, I mean, well, let's check it out. Let's definitely, in post, we'll send each other a few of these and workshop them.
I really thought that endurance was at the 18 granted more than just death save from poisons.
Maybe we could add something else to it, you know?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I feel like that's good enough.
Maybe he doesn't starve as fast as other characters. Maybe...
Oh, wait. Poison. Oh, yeah. Okay, I knew what it was. There was like poison saves and disease saves like are different. That's what it was.
Okay. Maybe exhaustion too.
Like, yeah, there's not really any of that.
Okay, fair enough.
It's yeah, we don't really delve too deep into that kind of stuff.
All right, I gotta finish reading the entirety of the rulebook. I'm just kind of doing one segment at a time, getting pretty lost in it, then move to the next. So, one thing I wanted to talk about.
Yes.
This game, it takes an older idea of RPGs where the class is race,
yes,
and it leans into that very heavily. So, this is going to be a leading question here. Isn't that a bit limited? Or would you say streamlining?
That's a good question. So, that I do get a lot of flack for race as class, but I like the idea of race as class because I feel like it's more like like each class has its rigidness into like what it does. You know what I'm saying? Like your psychic class is always going to be a star spawn.
Yeah, so would you say that it laser focuses the player onto a few roles to channel that creative energy into some devastatingly effective problem-solving machine?
Yes, I think so. I think it's better. I think it's, and then it's easier. It makes, I don't know, it just makes sense to me. Like, cause like a dwarf, like a dwarf wizard, that's dumb. Like, I'm sorry if there's dwarf wizards out there that really like the dwarf wizard, but come on now, like that's stupid.
So the way I see it, yes, it's a little creatively limiting for the creation of the character, but at the same time, it gives you shoes to step in. It gives you something that's solid and there, something that you can delve into and be creative from that point.
Yeah, exactly. And then you got the hairstyles. You got like a bunch of stuff to customize and tweak within the class. And like it opens up room for more classes race, because like you do have the Bruticorn, which is the bicorned descendant of unicorns that have like mechanical legs that can just kick through doors like no big deal. And they have their own spells. They can cast a couple spells on their own. They actually have 1, 2, 3 spells. That's all they can cast. But it's their class. So they have the chat attack for a Bruticorn spell. That the Bruticorn tosses insult to gives the target he can see within the range to the middle finger. This barrage of expletives, or however you say it, vulgar hand gestures enrages the target, and they take a -2 to their AC until the start of the Bruticorn's next spell phase. So it's essentially like a bard. A bard could do that.
Yeah.
Like piss them off to where they lower their AC. And then they have a Brutal Blast, which Bruticorn can shoot a blue blast of energy on his next missile attack with any type of shotgun, because the preferred weapon of the Bruticorn is a shotgun. And then screaming through the air, the blast makes a wicked guitar solo noise until it explodes on impact. Make a dazzling spectacle of light and sound. Brutal Blast deals 2d6 damage. But if a 12 is rolled, the spell deals blowback damage, and the Bruticorn takes some of that hit. So, like, it's devastating, a nice 2d6 damage, but if you roll, like, boxcars, like, you're taking some of that. I think you take, like, half of it. Have to look at blowback. But then Locked on Target is the third spell, so it's actually cast as a bonus action. So, powered by magic, the Bruticorn's cybernetic eyes can lock onto the target, enhancing his ability to shoot it with his boomstick, gaining the roll a +3 to hit. So like they got a nice little spell, like a nice little variety. They deal extra damage, like get extra like to hit, and like lower the AC. So it's not bad for 3 spells. That's all they can cast, but
yeah, definitely. It's, you know, you got some spells in your back pocket that you could whip out, and maybe you could change the terrain of the battlefield in your favor.
Exactly.
So, there's plenty of variety built into each character already. I'm gonna go ahead and say that the whole races class issue is a non-issue. It's awesome. Just lean into it, and you're gonna have a good time.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I said I got flack. It wasn't a lot. It was like a little bit of like a. I had to fight. I mean, it's my game, so I didn't really fight hard. I was like, no, I'm gonna do races. But like, people are like, oh man, you should do like races and stuff. It's like, why? There's no point. Like, cause then like, so there's some like classes like on the table still for like future editions or like supplements. Like, obviously you get to play as a mutant eventually, right?
Yeah.
Because like, but I wanted to establish the mutant as like the bane of mankind's existence in the core rules before I like let people play as them.
Yeah, you gotta hype it up.
So, yeah, that's why they were originally one of the original classes but they got cut in favor of like the lore behind it more than the playing of it.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, so eventually you will play it. You will be able to have a mutant class. I mean, half of it, it's mostly written up already. It's just on the back burner for now.
We'll see what we can do with that.
Yeah. So, and then what else? What else would be it? And then Dwarfling. I mean, like, they like gold, like every other dwarf halfling thing. I guess I don't know. They're just like foragers. You know, like whatever that word is. I don't know what I'm saying. They forge stuff like dwarves do.
Oh, artificer.
Sure. Not really, but kinda. So, oh man, you know what's really cool though that like nobody ever knows about because it's in the core rules is the cyber skin. So a cyber skin doesn't level up like anybody else, so they get augmentations. So like level 1. So you got beefy augmentations, hand-to-hand augmentations, or shooting augmentations, and you get milestones, which are auto gains. So at level 3, you automatically will get +2 to all ability scores, and level 6, you get +2 to all ability scores, and when you reach level 10, you get the Reaper Initiative. So I'll just leave that at that. But then, like, you can. So then, once you get level 2, you choose between a beefy, hand-to-hand, or shooting augmentation. So you got like anti-slip feet, anti-slip grip, or laser sight. You choose one of those, and that's your upgrade. You don't get anything like normal classes get, like advancements in their attack and their saving throws and stuff. That's it. You get an upgrade. So like their attack is.
I wrote something pretty similar to that, dangerously similar actually.
I like it.
Think a brain in a jar.
Okay.
And all of your abilities, all of your weapons, all of your stats, all your physical stats anyway, are derived from what particular gear you can find in the wasteland and have attached to your brain jar.
Yeah, it's kind of like Pickle Rick.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah, that's kind of like the exact same thing I was thinking. But it's not necessarily what you can find. It's more like, so the cyber skin like is kind of like a thinking computer, you know, kind of like the Terminator. So essentially it like builds it itself, like through medieval science magic that I don't have to explain. Let your imagination run wild.
Capacitors.
Yeah, exactly. That it just builds it for you.
Interesting.
Like, yeah. So yeah, that's pretty cool about the cyber skin. I liked that no one knows about till now.
Now we know. Thank you for the forbidden knowledge.
Oh, of course. Of course, that's what I'm here for. What do they get? Let's see. Cyber skin. Because everyone has like a cool trinket. If you notice, like they always have like something interesting. I don't think they have anything.
You should have like a calculator that refers to as mother.
Yeah. That's a good idea. I'll leave it up to a table, and that'll be one of them. Because like the war wizard gets the skull, and like you roll on the table to see whose skull it was. So like, yeah. So starting equipment will be. I was gonna write it right here as we talk.
Love it.
Random trinket. Let's go 1d6, right? That sounds good. So 1 would be a calculator referred to as mother.
Do you want to fill in the rest right now, live on the air?
No. Hell no.
Okay, alright.
That's too much. That's too much. So you gotta let it flow naturally. So now that this is established as something I have to work on,
yeah,
the other 5 will come to me and then when I see fit, and then I'll be like, oh, you know what? That's a good one, and then I'll write it in.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay, see, I thought of one.
I got another one floppy. Too. See, this is what I'm saying.
Okay, a floppy disk of like some random video game. Excuse me, I just burped. Floppy disk of, I don't know, what do you want to name the game? Like something ridiculous.
Tarax Invaders.
Okay.
What about a cassette? That's
it would be
that's got like his fucking favorite tunes on it.
Oh, like a mixtape?
Yeah, from like the the pre-1992 era.
Yeah, so let's call it like something stupid like My Summer Love or something.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah. So a mixtape called My Summer Love. Yep, perfect. So then, yeah, it would have to be. It wouldn't be a floppy disk because of it's all taped. It's all tapes.
Be a game cartridge.
Yeah, let's go game cartridge. A game cartridge called. I don't know. I think we should do something better, something crazier. Oh, actually, I know what I'm going to call it. Because this is, it's going to, see, this is, so Hyper Panic on Dimension X.
So I feel like this is a reference to something I'm just not getting.
No, it's a reference to a game module that I'm actually writing for the game.
There we go. Way to tie it in.
Yeah, I like it. All right, so that's 3. Boom, knocked out 3 already.
All right, let's set that one to simmer. Let's go on to. Do you have a favorite class thus far?
Yes.
Yes. Just know.
Yep. I already know. What? It's the Cosmic Barbarian, hands down.
Yeah, I was thinking that one too. That's pretty fucking good.
Yeah. Everything. Okay, so. Yeah, Cosmic Barbarian is still my favorite because just the lore, the abilities, and just the ridiculousness is like everything. It's just I love it.
Yeah, strap a mullet on it and turn it up to 11. Like this is how you do it.
Exactly. Yeah, because it's like, I mean, they snort cosmic dust that's chunks of space rock that get them high into a battle frenzy.
And you don't?
And then they're no, I don't.
Oh, come on.
I wish. So the big thing about it too was like, damn, so like the cosmic dust, so anyone other than the Cosmic Barbarian who snorts the dust has to make a death save throw because it's like they're gonna pass that shit around to everybody to give them like battle frenzy. Because like they train their bodies to snort the cosmic dust and not die from it. But any Johnny on the spot, who tries to snort the cosmic dust will die. But then if they're successful on the save roll, they roll on the drug effects table, and then on a failure, their heart explodes in their chest. Dunzo. And then when they're juiced out, which is like our word for what the barbarians do, rage.
Yeah.
Or I don't remember what they do in 5e rage. I think So while high cosmic dust, they add both damage rolls from dual wielding rather than taking the greater result. So when you dual wield, so they're the only class that can dual wield too. That's the other big thing about them. But dual wielding isn't just like hitting with 2 weapons. You essentially get advantage on the attack, and you pick the higher of them.
Interesting.
Instead of it makes more sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's rare that you see a game that is able to handle dual wielding melee weapons well. That doesn't feel clunky. Yeah,
it's pretty fast paced. He Yeah, so essentially it's just you take advantage on the roll. Like, to hit, I believe, as well. You roll 2 dice, and you take the higher damage. That's how you dual wield.
Okay.
As we figure, like, 20 minutes later. Damn. But yeah, so that's my favorite class. Long story short, Cosmic Barbarian, everything about it is dope. And if I could play one, I would. I think I would play one every single time.
I don't know. I think I'd mess around. I'd hop around from class to class, just see what happens.
Yeah, no, I would. I would too. Like, War Wizard sounds really cool. Cosmic Barbarian.
Like, that's... So, hey, one thing I really like about just, like, the way the game is structured is just, it leans itself towards a very high lethality rate for player characters. Especially if you don't play wise. But if you do play wise, I feel like there's a lot of chances to avoid death.
Yeah.
But, like,
sure.
Naturally the deck is for sure stacked to try to kill you.
Yeah, everything's out to kill you. The encounters aren't balanced. Like, if you don't play smart, you will die. Even though you are packed with a lot of power, there's a good chance you will still die.
Yeah. But that's a lot of chances to play different classes. See which one you really like.
Exactly. So yeah, so dual wielding is roll twice to hit, and for damage you take the higher roll for both. And then you add the dual wielding bonus per level.
Good.
Found it. I'm sure it's literally right there, and I just looked over it like a billion times.
So has
That's the worst.
Has a player ever hit you some unique input for a class? Like during one of the playtests, has a player ever wrote a class into doing something you didn't think was possible? Ever surprised you with a weird take on a situation?
No, unfortunately, they don't really play that smart.
Brutal. Okay.
I mean, like, I'll call it what it is, but yeah, then no, nothing like that. Unfortunately, I wish, but they don't. Yeah.
All right. Well, get good, scrubs.
Pretty much. Well, yeah. So here's just an example. So there's this adventure that I do. So generally there's Last Outpost on the left. They already did that. So the second one is called Wizards Bleed Green. And then, so essentially, so Glorm is a war wizard who lives in the Tower of Nightflame, and he's gone rogue, and like he's doing just stupid, like, not war wizard. Well, I mean, they're all bad, essentially. But he's, like, killing people and everything. You know, so there's been a bounty put over his head. So you go to the Tower of the Night Flame, where Glorm lives, all the way at the top. So, of course, like, a war wizard's spire is going to be a bit ridiculous, right? Like, all the floors, just crazy shit. So, there is a monster in the game, Blood Sludge, that it doesn't deal damage. It attaches itself to you, and then it just absorbs hit points at, like, the beginning of its turn. Well, they decided to just whack the Blood Sludge on another character. As it's sucking another character, they decided to start hitting it. And then the Blood Sludge takes the damage, sure, but so does the character that's getting hit.
Hey, you got a fly on your face. I'm gonna go fucking hit you with a baseball bat.
Yeah, so that was the first part. And then they couldn't figure it out, so rather than that, they stuffed it into a backpack. Right? So it's like, alright, cool, smart. Put the Blood Sludge in a backpack.
Okay. But
he didn't want to get rid of his backpack, so he walked to the stairs and tried to open the backpack and let the Blood Sludge out, which just attached it to himself.
Okay.
yeah, that's pretty much a good gist of what their thought process is.
Very
where it's at.
Very methodical, let's say.
Yeah, something like that.
They have a method, and they're sticking with it. Methodical.
Yeah. And then so there is these things throughout the world called bioflesh regenerators. They are essentially giant man-sized vats that have cyber skins in them, or you can take the cyber skin out and put either a fallen comrade or yourself to heal in it. So, spoiler alert, in Last Outpost on the left, I believe there is a room. Gene slamming. Yeah, no, bioflesh regenerator. So, yeah, so there is a room that has 6 of them, 6 vats around the perimeter of the room with the data tape drive can be seen in the center of the room, like with their stasis, like their vitals on it and stuff, where you can take a tape out. That's a long story, but you can actually put your digital consciousness into one of those cyber skins and have 2 characters, but that's like a whole nother story. But anyway, so they got to the bioflesh regenerator room, and I had, one of the guys was just licking the vats.
No.
He's like, I'm gonna lick. He's like, I just want to lick them. It's like, alright, well, roll on a mutant.
That's how you get diseases, dog.
Yeah. So it's just like stupid decisions like that. It's like, bro, come on. Which, it's like, dude, what the
I mean, if he's just playing his character, bro, come on, what's the problem?
Yeah, right?
All right.
I hate that.
Okay. So with that, I'm trying to avoid any other spoilers for that module there.
Well, I mean, that's not that big of a spoiler. It's in the book, and it's like a room. It's like that has bioflesh regenerators in it. You don't know where it is. You don't know what room number, even though it's labeled. But whatever.
You just know not to lick all the test tubes.
Don't lick the vats with naked men in them.
Alright. Well, okay. So, we're coming up on an hour. Hear me out. Let's go ahead and give some more announcements for the Kickstarter and begin to wrap this puppy up, shall we?
Yeah. So, what would you like to know about the Kickstarter?
So, it's going live on November 1st. We have the new cover, alternate art cover, hardcover.
So the standard cover is not done yet. He's still working on it, which it's probably not going to be done in time, which kind of stinks. But that's just kind of like how it goes,
Yeah.
Like we're just not going to make the cut. So we have the stand-in cover, which is the playtest cover.
It's a pretty good
which
cover.
Is fun. Yeah, it's a good cover, but I mean, I wanted something different, for the book. So, yeah, he's currently working on it. I was thinking about doing a YouTube video explaining, the cover, showing this one, showing all his other work, and I have the sketch of what the cover is gonna look like. And I was gonna, kind of explain that.
Yeah, here we go.
So there's that. So the cover, it's gonna be cool. So it's essentially, to kind of paraphrase what it's going to be, let me pull it up real quick. So it is a Cosmic Barbarian in the center with a Night Stalker on one side, a War Wizard on the other, on top of a giant ziggurat, fighting hordes of mutants as they're coming up the steps.
That's pretty metal.
So, yeah, so it's dope. It's going to look good. It's going to look real good. And then the Kickstarter exclusive cover was done by, I'm gonna murder his name, Diogo Nagueria. He did the game Solar Blades and Cosmic Spells. He's Old Skull Publishing is his company. He's very prolific in the OSR community. He did the Kickstarter exclusive cover, which is the female Deathbringer fighting the mutant in the arena. And then that cover is, I don't know if it's going to stay black and white. It may not, but anything green on the cover, so like where it says core rules, the logo, and then if you look at it, there is a skull on a banner, and that's going to be green as well. That's going to be foil.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's definitely going to happen. It's definitely going to be a foil front cover for the Kickstarter exclusive cover. But I just don't know how much foiling yet.
Okay. Well, I'm probably going to pick up that one. I have one question.
Sure.
So the playtest rule set is approximately 62 pages, right?
It is.
How much longer is the official rules drop at this current point?
It's looking like it's going to be 250, 300 pages.
Nice. Now that is an upgrade.
Well, I mean, like, think about it, though, because, like, there is a crap ton of spells.
Yeah.
So just to go over, like, real quick, there's over 100 monsters in the monster section. There's, like, I think we have, like 130 monsters or something gonna be in it listed. So the stuff to slay, I have so let me look at the list. I have 72 listed here. So 72 plus 32, what, 104 already, like, monster wise. And then if you go to spells, I'm just gonna go War Wizard alone. You ready for this? So let me find where War Wizard's spells. So first level, 20 spells. Second level, 20 spells. Third level, 13 spells. Fourth level, 10 spells. Fifth level, 8 spells. Sixth level, 8 spells. Seventh level, 8 spells. Eighth level, 8 spells. Even though it says 88. Which the eighth spell of 8th level is called All Hail the Meat Titan. Just saying. Ninth level has 6 spells. And then, so each War Wizard has a Demon Lord that grants them a Demon Lord specific spell, and there's 20 of those. So that's all spells that have to be in compiled, put into the list. Like, the spell section is going to be massive. That's just the War Wizard. Like, that's not including all the Holy Smiter prayers, all the Star Spawn manifestations, and then, like, I can just go through the list of stuff. So then you got all the hacks for a Skull Jammer. We didn't even talk about the Skull Jammer. Like, he hacks spells. So there's all of his spells, air quotes, his programs or his hacks rather, which they're air quoted spells, which they're not spells, but they are spells. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then you got that, and then there's like the rules for epic baddies, like the high end, like big bosses. They have their own special abilities and stuff. So there's all that. There's all the fantastical items and the rich stuff. So you got all your magical items and weapons. That's a whole nother section. Nades, like grenades, hand grenades and stuff. I'm adding that into the main book. The super secret 11th class, which we haven't talked about. Yeah, and then there's a big bad dude Instamaker, where you can actually create your own monster on the fly. There's rich kids on LSD, which that's a whole nother thing. That's a section on itself. We got a whole section of mutations. You got data tapes, drives, and decks. Hell World, where the Demon Lords come from. That's a whole section. Hairstyles. Smell-o-vision, that nobody ever talks about. Smell-o-vision. It's in there. Yeah.
So this is going to be weird and big.
It's going to be big.
Okay.
I mean, we didn't even talk about the where is it? It's such a wild thing. I haven't written on it in a long time. Oh, the Serial Wars of the Gods. There was a whole, like, serial civil war that happened between the Cult of the Tiger, the Church of the Charms, the Conclave of the Three.
We will.
So.
I think one of the future episodes we're gonna talk a little bit more backstory and the religions of the realm and such.
Well, if you are a follower of the Church of the Charm, each marshmallow shape can bring great power.
Oh my god.
So you got the hearts, shooting stars, horseshoes, green clovers, blue moons, rainbows, red balloons, the unicorn, and the moon.
I think I'm familiar with this cult.
Yeah, and then you got the Conclave of the Three is Rice Krispies.
Okay.
Snack, crackle, and pop. And then obviously Call of the Tiger is Frosted Flakes. But yeah, that's like a whole. That's like, oh, and then we didn't even talk about like the setting material. So like a whole like thing about all the places, all the extra stuff, like all the shops and all that, all the different cities and stuff. Like that's a whole nother section of the book. Like that's why like it really adds up. Like what'd you say the playtest clocked in at? Like
62 pages.
Yeah, 62 pages. Like yeah, every section. There's a couple sections that like every section in those 62 pages is gonna be fleshed out like 3 times as much.
Very, very nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Like, I'll say at the high end 300, at the low end I would say a little over 215. That's my estimation of where it's going to land.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say so.
November 1st.
November 1st is when the Kickstarter goes live. And then, yep, you can get the PDF, the standard hardcover cover, if you will, or the Kickstarter exclusive cover, or if you're really feeling froggy, you can get both covers for $5 off. It's just how it is. Unfortunately, printing books is very expensive.
Yeah.
But it should. I think we'll get funded. I got high hopes. I really think we'll make it.
Absolutely.
Like
I think we will.
We are kind of like throwing some stretch goal idea around. Yeah, I think we'll make it.
All right, let's save the stretch goals for the next episode of Council of the Neon Lords.
Yeah. So what do we got to talk about in the next one? So we went over in exhaustion characters. I feel maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. I have to go back to and see what we got, but I'm pretty sure we hit character classes pretty well.
Yeah, we covered them pretty good.
Like adventure, we could do like adventuring and combat.
Yeah, I think
and
I want to
spellcasting.
I definitely want to cover spellcasting because there's a lot to talk about there.
Yeah, it's
spellcasting, combat, how it plays out, how it feels, and just some of the other mechanics that I'm seeing. Oh, and I definitely want to delve into the enemies that one could fight. All right. Well.
Yeah. So you could do like enemies and mutants. It's like that could be like the third episode. Maybe third episode's like enemies and setting. You know.
Yes. I want to do enemies, setting, and magic, like loot. You know, some of the old world treasures. Kind of bring that into
yeah, I mean you got that's like there's so many of those too because you got old world, you got fantastical items, you got xenotech, like alien technology that like gets like stranded on the planet. Like there's so much to like that realm. Plus you got like all the products, like all the like the fruit pies and the energy drinks and the nacho flavored soda.
It's just horrific to think about, but
yeah,
I love it.
It's like what bean burrito vape, was that what you were trying to make?
Oh yeah. That's that test well with your groups.
Yeah, they thought it was interesting. I did bring it up at work. They were like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I would try it." So you might have an audience, but not in this state because you know, like New York outlawed any flavors of vape other than like mint, I think, and like tobacco flavored.
That's psychotic. Well, I actually don't want to talk about politics because I will go off.
Yeah, no, I know that's an offline topic, but yeah, I figured you'd appreciate that while I was on the tip of my tongue here while we were talking about it.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for joining me on another episode of Council of the Neon Lords. I will see you shortly. I'm going to email you all the fucking hairstyle modifications that I drew up. You're gonna love them or hate them.
Yeah, I'm excited to see them, and then yeah, we can kind of tweak them into like the format that everything's written in.
Yes, they're definitely going to take a lot of tweaking, for sure.
Ah, that's easy. That's like I have kind of like a standardization of like how I kind of do stuff, and just put it in that, and they should work fine. Like it shouldn't be an issue.
Love it.
But anyway, yeah.
Okay, well, join us next week or the week after, whatever, for backstory, religion, magic items, enemies, and maybe a few legendary creatures.
Ooh, sounds exciting. I can't wait.